I see my name in shining lights, yeah, a different city every night. Oh, I swear the world better prepare for when I'm a billionaire.
It's time to get down to business on the weekend's #1 business program. Known as the King of Networking, your host Shalom Klein has worked with thousands of entrepreneurs and created countless jobs. So, to success. Let's get down to business.
And indeed, we are all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship and business. We talk a lot about business here. You're on with Get Down to Business, and I'm your host, Shalom Klein. Remember, you can always download a podcast from Get Down to Business on my website at shalomklein.com. And while you are there, don't forget to follow me on Twitter at Shalom Klein. It's going to be a jam-packed week of content and information you will not want to miss. So let's jump right into it with our returning guest, the guru, the one, the only Tom Mirabali, health insurance expert guru, and all-around good friend and good person. Tom, welcome to the program.
Thank you. How you doing?
I'm good, my friend. Tom, welcome back. Always a pleasure to have you and talk about health insurance. I know you've been busy, you've been traveling, taking care of people. So tell us what's hot in the health insurance market.
Well, the same old thing. You know, I still have not received any indication from Blue Cross Blue Shield about what Joe Biden's new plan is. We're still quoting the old Affordable Care Act prices and very high deductibles of $8,550, which is your total out-of-pocket expense. And the short-term plans are booming. I mean, I'm busier now than I was last year. And people are just not putting up with the Affordable Care Act.
Oh, wow. Yeah. No, you always take a very customized approach to helping people and making sure that they're getting the plan that they need, the affordable plan that they need. And one of the things we always talk about is eliminating that mandatory, the cost. Yeah, exactly. So let's talk a little bit about that. What kind of calls have you been receiving?
Oh, I've been receiving all sorts of calls from people, 35, 40, 45, people who are out of maternity production. They don't want to have any more children, but yet the husband and the wife are both paying about $200-300 more per month each for maternity coverage that they're never going to use. So it's a waste of $600 to $800 per month for a young couple. I call a 40-year-old a young couple who already have children. Why are you spending money on maternity coverage? You know, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. So Tom, one of the things that you always come to us with are some of the people that you've helped. And I know that your phone never stops. I'll say this now, and we'll say it at the end of our conversation, but you take calls at all hours of the day and night. So tell us about some of the people you've been able to help recently.
I had somebody yesterday who called me, who I wrote a short-term major medical plan about 3 weeks ago. Well, the lady is about 60 years old, and unfortunately, she suffered a minor stroke. Well, she's in the hospital. She will not be able to do another short-term plan once this policy has, expired after 6 months. However, we did find out that she was on some sort of disability. So under the Medicare, supplement programs, there is a section in there that people can get guaranteed coverage if they are qualified and listed as disabled. So, here she is 60 years old, and she has been getting a small amount of disability insurance through her employer on her group plan, but now she's losing her job or she's lost her job or cut down substantially on the hours. So now, as of yesterday, we were working on it, and I gave instructions to her husband, and he is now contacting Medicare, and we're going to find out exactly what the system is to get her signed up for disability so she can go and get her Medicare Part A and Medicare Part B card, and I can get her a standard G plan at the age of 60, she can get a standard G plan at $323.64 a month. That is Medicare. That covers everything. That you do not have to, sign up for underwriting guidelines or anything like that. It's automatic acceptance. But the point being is that we just don't sell short-term major medical policies to healthy people. This woman is under 65, and we handle all Medicare claims and people who need the Medicare for disability. So we've never talked about that on the show, but those are some of the things that I do in excess of, short-term major medical plans for people under 65.
Absolutely. No, so important. And you're right. We haven't talked about it enough, but you're always helping. And I can't believe it. We're having this conversation in July, Q3 of the year. So you always keep our listeners on top of the calendar. So at this point of the year in July, as we're moving into, again, the second half of 2021, what are some of the things that our listeners should be focused on and paying attention to as it relates to new plans and health insurance coverage?
Well, I would not be overly optimistic at the Biden administration coming up with the new health insurance plans, because when you have leaders in the industry like Blue Cross Blue Shield of Illinois and Humana and United Healthcare, they are telling us agents that we don't have a plan from Washington. These people are not giving the health insurance carriers, Blue Cross, et cetera, any guidance as to what to expect under this Biden health insurance. Now, how long has this man been in the office? 6-7 months, whatever the case may be. But he campaigned that he had a different health insurance plan. And it's just wrong to tell people that we're going to implement a new plan, and then the big companies don't get any direction from Washington, D.C. It's useless. So what we're doing is we've been told to use the old prices and the old plans, just like, with the $8,550 max out of pocket Affordable Care Act plans that aren't really affordable. But, we're using the same plan. There has been no change in Washington under Biden that is helping clients, except he raised the amount of money to about $106,000, and you can still get a premium tax credit.
Mm-hmm. So let me just throw a scenario at you again. We're chatting with Tom Mirabali, health insurance guru, here on Get Down to Business, a returning guest we've been chatting about. Again, just some of the things that are out there. And I want to throw a scenario at you. Again, small business owners tuning in may have just started their business. Now that COVID restrictions have started to lift and people are getting more comfortable. Somebody has a new business. They're now employing their first couple of people, and they want to start to offer that health insurance coverage. What's the first step that they should take?
Well, if they're brand new people, and obviously it's a new business, so these people don't really come with a track record as far as loyalty, as far as sustainability at a job, I would start off the first 6 months with a short-term major medical plan that I sell, and they're all PPO plans. You can use any doctor, any hospital you want. But the costs are so low, and the out-of-pocket cost can be so low, like $2,500 instead of $8,550, and you can give those employees in the new business a lower cost of doing business. Instead of going ahead, let's say you get a 30-year-old guy with non-smoker, and he's on the Blue Precision Bronze HMO, and it's going to cost him $328 a month under Blue Cross's Affordable Care Act plan. I could chop that down to about $200 a month or $175 a month with a $2,500 deductible, 100% coverage, no maternity coverage. So that's my suggestion to people just starting a business is let's talk about it. let's put them on a short-term major medical plan for 6 months. After 6 months, if they work out for you as far as employment loyalty and as far as making money for the business, and then we can talk about a group plan, because we can do a group plan at any time during the year. We don't have to wait for open enrollment.
Absolutely. Well, Tom, you are a treasure, my friend. Thank you so much for sharing some helpful advice. And I want our listeners to get in touch with you. So how can they get a hold of you?
They can call me at 630-863-3477. Again, that's 630-863-3477. Or you can contact me on my website, or you can email me directly at TMIROB as in boy, ALLI at yahoo.com. tmarabali at yahoo.com.
Well, Tom, thank you so much. And speaking of gurus, I will be joined right after this quick break by Irina Freeman from Chicago Signature Limo, our other guru and returning guest on the program. We'll be right back. Don't touch that dial. Welcome back, Chicago. You're listening to Get Down to Business. I've been talking with our other guru, but now we are back with Irina Freeman, and I look forward to these conversations where we can talk about an amazing, amazing business, an amazing, amazing group of people doing awesome things in the community and helping people each and every day. Again, that's Irina Freeman from Chicago Signature Limo, ChicagoSignatureLimo.com. Irina, I talk about you each and every week on the show, but it's always a privilege when I actually get to speak to you.
Hi, Shalom. Well, what a pleasure. Yes, I'm looking for every month to talk to you, and your guys great, and happy to hear you today.
It's a pleasure. So Chicago Signature Limo, obviously we talk about you all the time, and your transportation needs, local, long distance, and I know that you've expanded, and we'll talk some more about that. But tell us, as we speak in July 2021, what's lighting up the phone lines at the office these days?
Well, people, they start traveling a lot, and we do have a lot of clients. They are back, and they are start going vacation, and we do provide transportation for airport transfer, and some clients, they prefer out of state. They still want to not to fly, believe it or not. And we do out-of-state transfer from Chicago to Arizona, from Chicago to Florida. We do have sedan, SUV. We do have Sprinter vans. And our clients are very happy because we still focus on sanitizing the cars each ride. And we do have a lot of communication with the clients, especially when they land at the airport.
Absolutely. It always scares me when I hear travel companies that are saying that, things are getting back to normal. Does that mean that you weren't sanitizing before? So it's great to hear that obviously that continued focus on customer safety continues to be a priority. And that is, speaking of safety, actually, in a different lens of safety, I know that's something that also makes you stand out, as you are very, very involved in helping some high profile visitors, and with business owners that are tuning in, sometimes I know that there are conferences, there are opportunities to bring in people, and having the safety and security is so important. So again, I love to profile some of your returning customers, because once you establish a relationship with Chicago Signature Limo, you can never go back. Isn't that right, Irina?
Yes, because they become family members. We call the signature family. So they are repeat, because we do create special accounts for them. We know all the information, and they don't have to go over and over every time they call us a lot of information, like a home address and certain things they need for us to do for them. Like sometimes we, believe it or not, we even pick up a pizza for them if they land at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning for the whole family. They're starving. And That's why it's all about family. They are family for us. Our clients are family.
Absolutely. And so are your employees as well. And I want to touch on that because I know that you have been expanding quickly, and you're always looking for quality drivers that share that focus on that family. So maybe let's use this opportunity. Tell us a little bit about the Chicago Signature Limo family.
Chicago Signature family, we do take care of our employees, because without our drivers, without our employees, we cannot operate. I'm honest with you. I cannot drive so many cars in the same time. I need people to hold me. So we're blessed to have everybody as a big team, and they are very, very professional and organized and dedicated. And we do take care of them like a family. We organize birthday for them. We get together for any holidays, and we concerned, like, if one of my employees needs something, we're there for them, no matter what.
Oh, that's so important. So speaking of the team has been growing, and your company has been growing. And I know that you are down in Tampa as well. So let's talk a little bit about how that network has grown and some of the needs that have been expanding down there.
Oh my God, we just we're getting so busy in Tampa. We are on 24 hours, 7 days a week. We're doing great. I am very happy. We love this place. Clients, they are wonderful, and I do have a great team in Tampa. And we just, matter of fact, we just passed the hurricane last night. I call all my employees, everybody got together like a family. We make sure we secure all our cars in a safe place. We just pulled the cars right now, like about an hour ago, back on the street, and we back to the normal operation. Everybody's safe, and we check on everybody. We have clients, they call us, they check on us to make sure we're okay. We have few clients, they cancel the flights, and they're like really concerned, like, oh my God, do you think you can pick me up? I'm like, of course, we never leave nobody behind. We just want to make sure we cover everybody. And if we have to work harder 24 hours to make sure 7 days a week, we will do that. We're there for them.
Well, I know from being your friend, Irene, I know that 24 hours a day isn't possible, because I know that you're actually working 29 hours a day.
Yes,
so
I do.
you've set a new standard for everybody over here. So, bottom line, we've talked about some of the long-term or the long distance rather transportation needs. But you have that family that you've established in Chicago, in Tampa, people that are calling for their regular needs. And, you know, it is possible. We're going to talk later in the program about productivity now that we are in the second half of 2021. And, you know, people are slowly getting back to normal. Maybe folks are going from the suburbs into the city. And maybe part of your half year New Year's resolution over here is that you want to be more productive. So maybe on the drive, maybe you don't actually want to do the drive. Maybe you want to have a driver that will keep you safe and secure on that journey. So your routine customers, tell us about how you cater towards your business audience.
Well, we do a lot of, they can find us online, and they can find us at ChicagoSignatureLimo.com, and also in Tampa at TampaSignatureLimo.com. We do have a 24 hours, 7 days a week answering at 312-890-8332, and this is Chicago location. And Tampa, it's 813-466-9550.
Absolutely. And I would encourage everybody, pick up the phone, even just for a consultation, if you're looking to establish a relationship with a company that will provide comfortable, safe transportation, whether it's a trip from O'Hare back home, or a trip from your home to the office, or even if you need to travel across the country with locations in Chicago and Tampa, picking up the phone and having a conversation and establishing it proactively is important. But I will say on the reactive side, and Irina, I know we always laugh at some of the stories of some of the calls that you get in the middle of the night, and somebody has that need and they have that craving for a Giordano's pizza, you're able to accommodate that as well.
Absolutely, absolutely. And also, I like to mention we do provide a lot of service for military and veteran families, and we love to give them a big discount. And a lot of new companies, they relocating in Tampa, or they get back to work in Chicago. We do offer a lot of corporate accounts, so they can email us to Chicago Signature Limo at gmail.com and Tampa Signature Limo at gmail.com. Definitely, they have to mention the veteran discount, and also they can ask for the corporate accounts they can open with us.
Absolutely. Chicago Signature Limo at gmail.com, Tampa Signature Limo at gmail.com. Same websites as well, Chicago Signature Limo and Tampa Signature Limo. And Irina, one more time for Chicago, the phone number?
312-890-8332.
Fantastic. Irina Freeman, we'll have you back on real soon. Chicago Signature Limo. To our listeners, check it out. Thank you so much for joining us, Irina, and I look forward to bringing you back on real soon.
Thank you so much, Shalom.
Absolutely. We're going to squeeze in a quick break, some headlines. We'll be back and get down to business in just a moment. Well, we're halfway through the year, my friends. It's time to take a deep dive into what comes and what's projected money-wise. Hold your book. I use QuickBooks. Look at your year-to-date profit and loss. Have a reality check conversation with yourself and what's been working financially this year and what this means moving into the later half of the year. Here's a couple of things that I wanted to talk to you about. It's crazy to think that we are now in July. And so I've been looking at my calendar and trying to look at 4 pillars to assess each and every single quarter: time, money, dreams, and daily. So let's take a look at those 4 areas. So I mentioned money. Again, we're halfway through this year. You want to look at what products and services brought in the most revenue and the least revenue for you. Are you on track to hit your yearly revenue need? If not, why? Look at the data here. Was it a slower booking season, a launch that didn't hit the goal? You need to spend focused time on revenue generating tasks. For example, do you need to focus on bookings more than projects in this next quarter? A project could be a website launch. Sure, the hope is that launching a website will drive revenue, but it's not immediate. It's a long-term project. Sometimes the goal for that quarter needs to be immediate revenue, actually selling what you do, provide, versus a project, so you can hit your goals financially. After looking at that area of money, it's time to look at dreams. Last week, I talked a little bit about some of the areas of setting some goals for yourself. So once you assess, again, your money, you want to look at what are the things that make the most sense for you in business. What can happen or start to happen in July, August, September? Ask yourself, what feels exciting to your visionary heart, but also realistic for time constraints and money assessments? And when we're talking about time, when I say time, I mean what's happening on your calendar. It's summertime. That likely means an increase in travel, kids at home, family things, and so on and so forth. Maybe you have something big happening in September, October. You need to start the runway now. Whatever it is, understanding how your calendar is filling up is important for your Q3 reset. And finally, I want to talk about those dailies. How's your daily schedule going? Assess how you feel about what's happening day in and day out. Are there bottlenecks, tasks you don't love, things you could pass off, a physical schedule you're loving, not loving, kids at home, work hours? Seriously, look at what's going on in the daily and factor that in to your quarterly game plan for Q3 so you don't keep spinning your wheels in areas that aren't efficient or fun. So there you have it, 4 areas that you need to address as you reset your calendar for Q3. That is just the start, friends. There's a lot in store for you as you assess your Q3 goals. I can't wait to see your calendar fill up with an action plan. And in addition to all of that, definitely want to hear about what networking is working for you, because now is the time as we start to get out and about and start to get back into the real world, our real new normal. Yes, some people might still be wearing masks, and certainly there's a lot of changes that have occurred, but the reality is that we are back into the real world, and it is so important that you're putting the time and effort into building your business. And by building, that means building real relationships, getting out there and focusing on building your network. Yes, that means reconnecting with folks that you've been working with for the past number of years, because chances are you haven't had a coffee. You haven't sat across from those business colleagues, those customers, those employees in the past 18 months. So it's time to rebuild those relationships. But a lot has changed. Some businesses have gone out of business. New businesses have opened. Now's your opportunity to get out there and actually shake some hands and exchange some business cards and build some real, meaningful relationships. So do me a favor, check out chambers of commerce in your area. Support local small businesses. Yes, it has become somewhat convenient to just place an order online and have something shipped to your door. But now that we're comfortable getting out there, and now that the weather, bottom line, we missed 2 winters through COVID-19. You can actually get out there and go for a little walk and explore the local main street. See the new businesses that have opened, make a purchase, and go to the chambers of commerce to get the directory of the local businesses, services, products that are available in your respective area. And be sure to support those businesses, and be sure to find out about the networking opportunities, because those networking events are ways that you can actually build a lot of relationships all at once. You could actually get back into a room or outside on a patio and exchange business cards while also sharing a cup of coffee or a drink. So please let me know what's working for you. Visit my website, shalomklein.com. You can get in touch with me. I'd love to hear what's working for you, what's not working for you, sharing your advice with our listeners. Who knows, I might just share it on the air. And while we are talking about amazing, amazing people, let's also be sure to check out our sponsors of Get Down to Business on, again, my website, but be sure to check out ChicagoSignatureLimo.com, ChicagoSignatureLimo.com, as well as Tom Mirabali from HealthPlanChicago.com. Both great, tremendous resources for all your health insurance, travel, and logistics needs. And be sure to mention that you heard about them on Get Down to Business. So again, go to my website, shalomklein.com. That's where you can download podcasts for the past 8+ years of shows. So got to squeeze in a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment on the show all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. You're listening to Get Down to Business. So I'll return in just a moment. Welcome back to Get Down to Business, the show all about small business and entrepreneurship. I've been looking forward to this conversation. I'm joined by Rick Martin, who's the owner and founder of Martin IP Law Group, which is based in Evansville, Indiana, but serves clients throughout the United States. Before I get too deep in his bio, which is very impressive, 25+ years of supporting entrepreneurs and business owners. Rick, welcome to the program.
Thanks, Shalom. Good to be here.
Great to have you. So I love to get to know the person behind the microphone, your sort of underlying philosophy, your slogan, if you will, is protecting ideas, inventions, and identities. So how did you get to that point? Tell us your story.
I guess the tagline, if you will, ideas, inventions, and identities refer generally to the 3 of the 4 pillars of intellectual property law: patents, trademarks, and copyright. So that's mostly what we focus on. I sort of got into this area, I wouldn't say by chance, but I had finished up my engineering degree at Purdue University and decided probably going into my senior year of college that I wanted to move on to law school, and also decided that I was really ready to hit the ground running and didn't want to be a full-time student anymore. So looked for opportunities to do other things, and saw that the patent office was interviewing on campus, interviewed with them, ultimately ended up taking a job as a patent examiner with the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office out of engineering school, and did law school at Catholic University in D.C. at night. So that's kind of how I got started in that. Focused most of my efforts and classes during law school on intellectual property, patents, trademark, copyrights, and trade secrets. And then, once I graduated law school, the firm that I was working, I switched probably my third year of law school and worked for a Texas-based firm that moved me to Houston after I graduated. So I spent about 5 years in Texas working for some big firms, handling all types of IP matters, litigation, and prosecution both. After about 5 years of doing that, really decided, again, the entrepreneur in me didn't like working for somebody else, didn't like that aspect of it. So after 5 years of kind of learning the ropes there, decided to move back to Indiana where I grew up and open my own practice. And so that's where we are today.
That's awesome. It's a great story, and you've certainly been on a journey. So for those that don't understand intellectual property and an IP portfolio, which is something that I know you talk quite a bit about. So tell us the fundamentals, the basics of what our listeners, our entrepreneurs that might be creative, but they don't even know what they need to protect. Tell us the fundamentals.
Right. Well, so the fundamentals, and again, I think I mentioned earlier, the four pillars of intellectual property law are patents, trademarks, copyright, and trade secrets. So I'll start with trademarks because that's really the one that, even if you're not a tech-based company, I think every startup company, every business needs to understand and protect trademarks. Trademarks are basically your brands or your branding. So that's going to, be your company's name, names of any products or services that you may offer to your customers or clients. That's what trademark protects. And, it's important, I think, from a trademark perspective to identify those early on and to make sure that you are not stepping on someone else's toes or infringing someone else's trademark rights when you start up your business. And then, the other aspect is then to also file for and register your brands as trademarks so that you reserve those rights as your business grows. Then probably the next pillar I'll talk about is patents, and that's, again, that addresses inventions and things of that nature. So more tech-based companies, again, a patent provides you a limited monopoly for a 20-year period of time on inventions. So if you're able to secure a patent, it has to be useful, it has to be novel, and it has to be non-obvious. If it meets those requirements, you can patent your invention and secure that 20-year monopoly. Copyrights protect what I would call creative work. So software for one, books, art, sculpture, music, all of those things, and it's the expression of an idea that copyright law protects, not necessarily the idea itself. So, those are all protected by copyright. Sometimes, like with logos, for example, there's some overlap there. Oftentimes, if you have a logo that's a graphic design, the graphic design of that's going to be protected by copyright. The branding of that associates that logo with your business is going to be protected by trademark law. The final pillar, trade secret law. Trade secret essentially protects things that are proprietary, that are not easily discovered, and you want to keep secret. And that's not necessarily done by filing with any office like the Copyright Office, Patent Office, Trademark Office, like with the other three, but it's done by contract and agreement. Probably the most well-recognized or well-known trade secret is the Coca-Cola formula. That's something that they've managed to keep secret for hundreds of years, and still to this day it exists.
And that's an example of a pretty large trade secret out there. But when we come back, we're going to talk a little bit more about how this relates to your small business and how you can take steps to protect those intellectual property. Again, we are chatting with Rick Martin, the owner and founder of Martin IP Law Group. We're going to squeeze in a quick break. We'll be back in just a moment. Hey, welcome back. We are chatting with Rick Martin, the owner and founder of Martin IP Law Group, based in Evansville, Indiana, but serves clients throughout the United States. Just prior to the break, we were chatting about trade secrets, and Rick is quite the subject matter expert with experience, again, working as a patent examiner at the U.S. Patent and Trademark Office. So we were chatting about trade secrets, and you even mentioned about Coca-Cola, but we know that many of our small business owners that are tuning in, they have their own areas that they should be protecting via patent, trademark, copyright, trade secret, as you just said, all of the different forms of protection. So let's talk about some of the examples that you work with. Please don't share any of the specific examples, but the ideas of who reaches out to the Martin IP Law Group and how do you work with them?
Good question there. Yeah. So in the area of trade secrets, I would say with regard to small businesses, and again, some of them may have formulas like Coca-Cola, but that's not the normal situation. Probably the one that I see most often in the trade secret realm is customer lists, and that's proprietary information, and that's something that is valuable trade secret information of a company. And it usually comes up in the context of, employees or, now former employees leaving your company and going either to work for someone else or on their own. And they take that customer list and start calling your customers. So and again, it needs to be documented properly and handled properly. But if the customer list is maintained appropriately as a trade secret, then that can be a claim against that former employee for trade secret misappropriation.
Very, very interesting. That's great. So again, our small business owners are likely overwhelmed with the information that we've just been sharing. We provided those examples over here. So in terms of, again, IP attorneys, is it something that even just having a conversation to explore, is there any good sort of baby steps that our listeners should be taking this week to explore the protection of their intellectual property?
Well, yeah, it's always a good idea to reach out and talk to an IP attorney or a specialist, someone with knowledge in the area there. I guess the first step is probably identifying the intellectual property. A lot of people, probably a lot of small businesses, entrepreneurs, have IP that they don't even recognize or know about. So the first step would probably be to reach out to an IP attorney or someone with knowledge or experience in identifying IP and figure out what you have first. And then the second step is then obviously, how do we protect it?
That's great advice. Again, Rick Martin, thank you so much for sharing your expertise. Again, we mentioned you're in Evansville. You're serving clients throughout the United States. So on that very important note, how can people get a hold of you?
Probably the best way to get a hold of us would be our website. It's www.ipsolutionslaw.com, or directly to me. I'm just rick@ipsolutionslaw.com via email. Those are probably the best ways to find us and to get hooked up. There's a lot of free information and helpful information on our website that might at least give you a little bit of background and information and understanding on IP. And then, how to set up an appointment with us or reach out for further information.
Well, thank you so much for sharing with our listeners. I do hope everybody will get a hold of you and your team, and again, explore the baby steps, as we said in that conversation. And that's how businesses grow. But we haven't talked about the horror stories. Maybe we'll leave that for another conversation business is a knife fight at times, but we'll leave that again. Rick Martin, thank you so much for joining us. And again, all of our conversations, our podcasts, be sure you subscribe, rate, review, and share. Makes it easier for listeners to find the show. all about small business, jobs, and entrepreneurship. Get on my website, shalomklein.com. To success, let's get down to business. We'll talk to you next Sunday at 6 p.m. right here on AM 560, The Answer.